Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we grow again. So happy to be with you guys as always. You guys, gals, lads, lasses, P-heads extraordinaire, extraterrestrials, whoever's listening. Happy to be with you as always and always. And it is Thursday here as I record. Had some cool synchronicity to start off the day in regards to the topic. I love that. How literally, I don't know, at this point, I'd say over 50% of the shows, there is synchronicity that plays into the topic that chooses us for the day. And I'll get into that in just a minute. But before I do, I'd like to take a moment to read a review on iTunes. And you guys know I love my iTunes reviews. Not only do they help us to reach new people, but also help to continue to fuel this labor of love. You're completing the circle of love, as I like to put it, when you give me feedback. And by the way, you can also review on CastBox, which is now supporting the show, as I've mentioned. So love the CastBox app and love the fact that you can actually write a review there as well. So this one came in on iTunes by Rebecca Boop, and she said, thank you, and a request. Hi, all my lovely P-head people. I am writing a review today to express to you how much of an important part the P-head podcast has become in my life. This world can get you down, and having this podcast has helped me so much in keeping my focus on love, growth, and the deeper meanings of so many different things. Sometimes I listen to it in the morning while I'm getting ready, and sometimes I listen on my lunch breaks at work. No matter the time of day, it always restores my heart and helps keep me aligned with my purpose. Also, talk about expanding my mind. Thank you so much for providing thought-provoking and unapologetically unafraid content. I have a request, though. Could you please begin to provide links to the various things that you cite in your podcasts? For instance, a diet that you tried out was mentioned, and I'm having trouble finding more information on that, but I'm so curious to learn more. I'm not on Facebook, and many people are not, and so links to the people and practices you cite would be very, very helpful. Once again, thank you so much for the beautiful and inspiring podcast. It's my favorite. All right. Well, thank you, Rebecca Boop, for taking the time to send some love my way. And I don't put links in the show descriptions or anything like that. I really should on the website, but I haven't. And of course, I always spell them out verbally. You even heard at the top of the show today, for example, if you go to positivehead.com/transformation, you can get all the info on the transformation and cleanse. Losing weight was just like sort of a byproduct of reestablishing, a healthy relationship with food. But yeah, you heard that at the top, so I won't go into much detail about that. Hopefully that helps. You can always, play. I try and spell things out and say them carefully so that you can understand them. But definitely noted. And as we improve the site, perhaps we should start putting those links there as well. Oh, and by the way, if Rebecca, you're still interested, on the 21st of this month, there's going to be another group. Over 100 P-heads have went through the transformation / metabolic reset together. And now it's the beginning of August as I record this. So on the 21st, there's going to be another group for any of you guys who are interested. Definitely check out the page and you can get involved with that and email us, et cetera, et cetera. But let's see here. All right, let's jump right in. Let's jump right into today's topic, and what we're going to talk about is the whole idea that God, higher self, source, oversoul, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really have a plan for you. And so this was inspired by, I came across a Neale Donald Walsch clip I was checking out, and I really liked it, and really just love the whole idea in general. I think it's one that will serve a lot of people to understand. And what was great is I was actually, as I mentioned, now that this show is sponsored by CastBox, I was checking out some of the other CastBox originals. So I was kind of planning a little bit what I wanted to talk about today. As you guys know, I freestyle it for the most part, but maybe spend a few minutes planning and pulling up that Neale Donald Walsch video, which I'm going to share towards the end. And titled "God Doesn't Have a Plan for You." And then I kind of pause. I get distracted sometimes. I'm checking out music. What music am I going to play at the end of the show? Or answering an email. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take a moment and check out some other CastBox original shows, which I haven't done a lot. And I was told to check out one called Kaylin's Coffee Talk, and that's Kaylin with a K. And I just went and instantly, I was told that we talk about similar things and definitely in alignment in a lot of our, content. So I was like, pulled up first episode that it jumped out. It was said, "What you resist persists," which, by the way, another little synchronicity is a Neale. You guys hear me say that all the time. I originally got that from Neale Donald Walsch in Conversations with God books many, many years ago when I read those. Highly recommend them, by the way. So I saw that quote or that title as one of her titles, and I just jumped in and fast forwarded like 7 minutes in. First thing that I hear is her saying, "It doesn't mean you can't plan, but once you do, let it go." And that's literally what today's topic is. And I just had to laugh. Like, it's just so beautiful and magical the way we're all, connected through these invisible threads. So yeah, I went on and checked out a little bit more, and super cute, smart, witty, digging in. Wow, she's got like over 1 million, like 1.5 million YouTube subscribers on her YouTube channel as well. And I definitely see why. Very sweet, very down to earth, as I said, witty. And it looks like, all the content, I haven't listened to a ton yet, but, wellness, self-love, mental health, all the personal issues that we bump up against in 3D reality is what she's talking about. So definitely check her out. And once again, that's Kaylin with a K, K-A-L-Y-N, Kaylin's Coffee Talk. So, yeah. So that's how it started today with the synchronicity. And, I thought about this whole idea, thinking about this whole idea that God doesn't have a plan for us. Lao Tzu said, "A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving." I originally heard that in the movie Waking Life. If you guys haven't seen that, so good. Definitely fascinating, and all about astral projection and travel. But a good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving. Rumi said, "Sometimes we plan a trip to one place, but something takes us to another." We've all experienced that. Something you guys hear me saying all the time on the show is, essentially, you're an eternal being floating in eternity. There is no time. You're perfectly whole, and you have nowhere to go. Nothing that's required of you. Isn't that so reassuring to those of you out there, especially who are tripping out about, I'm, 25 now, and I should know exactly what I'm going to do or not do. And you guys have heard me talk about this myself. I've set the intention to manifest a lot of abundance into my life and have had quite the roller coaster in doing so. You guys have heard my story of, Inc. 500 fastest growing private company, losing it all, back out of the ashes. It's like, that's all from me just setting the intention. The business, the travel industry is not something I was even really interested in. It was brought to me as a vibrational reflection of me having that underlying intention. So you don't need to know the details. I didn't need to know the details. I got in tune with the underlying vibration of what I wanted. Lots of abundance. The underlying intention I set to have a platform to reach a lot of people in the world. Set the intention. I want to help wake up millions of people. Well, we're not quite to millions. Well, actually, millions have downloaded the show at this point, but, and more are tuning in every day. But I didn't know, when I first started, I wasn't even into podcasting. I had that intention already. So it's sort of this loose relationship that we create with higher self. We get in touch with the underlying intention of what we want and then let it all go. Because once you attach to the specifics of how you think it should look, you start judging, you start second guessing, you start, it really takes you out of alignment with what's your highest potential. The dance is you set the underlying intention, let all the expectations go. Whatever shows up, it's what you thought or something better. A good traveler is just like, I'm floating in eternity. I have nowhere I have to go. Nothing that I'm not intent on arriving. The journey is the goal. The more you guys let go, the more you flow, the faster the current goes, and on and on. Over planning really kills magic. And it's not to say there's never a time and a place when planning makes sense. I'm taking this trip on these dates and, I'm going to this particular event. But over planning your life, you don't need to know. I don't care if you're 60 years old right now and hearing this and saying, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Guess what? You have eternity in front of you, whether you're 60 or 6. It's like we all are literally in an eternal moment, in an eternal now. And that is a beautiful thing to realize and to take a deep breath and relax into what will unfold and really getting in touch with that trust that what is right for you will always be right for you. And you don't really need to know. You get to joyously get into the vibration of what it would feel like to be living on purpose, on path, really in tune with your divinity, as this clip we're going to share in a moment talks about. Once you do that, you've made it. You've arrived. There's nowhere else to go other than to choose to feel like the divine eternal being that you are, the incredible angelic entity who is incarnated in 3D is the truth of what's going on. And those of you who are tripping out and stressing about your life and your job and your career, you can let all that go. You really can. Just the path is loving what you have now, bringing in your divine self into the dishes you're going to wash later at the job, or the laundry you're folding, or the widget you're going to create, or whatever it is that you're doing. Bring your divinity into that. And if it's something that you'd rather be doing something differently, by bringing your divinity into it, like the title of Kaylin's episode, what you resist persists, what you accept, you move through, right? And so by accepting it and loving it and bringing that divine spark into those mundane places that you may be, into the place of not knowing, of searching for a job or career or a path or a purpose or, passion, whatever that is, it's there. There's something in you that is so perfect for you. No other soul that ever has been or will be could fill that role better than you. And it's waiting for you to get into alignment with what the vibration of it feels like so that it can actually manifest in your 3D reality. So it can show up on the screen of your life, right? And it's everything. Learning to be in vibrational alignment is everything to creating what you want, and then having fun with it, knowing that the universe will guide you. It'll always guide the way to what you should be doing next. If you're paying attention, if you're flowing like this, if you are, trusting, which direction should I go? I don't know. What feels natural now? Getting in touch with that intuition, gut, not so much from the heart, right? I was at a great party the other night. And this spiritual teacher, Minu, was there and gave a talk, and she was incredible. It was a private party at my friend Shane's house in LA, and it was incredible gathering of epic souls, and she was just like incredible. She was talking about the three brains, essentially. You have the brain in your head, your heart, and your gut. The three, these are the three places that you're actually creating from. And we've gotten out of balance, always being lost in our head. And when you get into alignment with your brain, heart, and gut, now you're living as a soul in 3D reality the way it was designed to be. She gave a great technique, by the way, for it, guys. And it was essentially taking and breathing in for a count of 9 breaths, holding for a count of 4 breaths, and then exhaling for a count of 6 breaths. And we actually did that as part of our group little meditation we were doing. 9, 4, 6, breathing in, holding, breathing out. And doing that, she's like, this is a simple technique that you can use to instantly align the 3. And when you're aligning the 3, now you're living in a way, you're in this solid vibrational state where you can actually call in the wisdom of all 3 of these things. So, and it essentially allows your higher self to integrate into your physical body. And that's the goal. That's the game, right? So what I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to take a moment and share this video audio clip that's on YouTube from Neale Donald Walsch. God does not have a plan for you. And I found this on the Abundance and Wealth Conscious Awakening YouTube page, if you guys want to look it up on your own. Otherwise, let's take a listen.
Hi, I'm Neale Donald Walsch. I like to start my video programs with a question, so let me do that here. Have you ever had the thought that there's something you're supposed to be doing in life, some particular role you should be playing or some particular contribution you should be making, and that you're not succeeding? You're not doing it? Worse yet, you don't even know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You just know that what you're doing right now to make a living is not it. Have you ever had thoughts like that? Well, you'd be very unusual if you did not. Many people I have known or met and talked to have felt, at least at one time or another in their life, that they were just not doing what they were supposed to be doing. That there was something larger, some larger purpose that God had in mind, and they're still trying to figure out what that is. Or, if they know what it is, they're still trying to figure out how they can make it happen and still earn a living. If you had anything close to feelings like this, you'll be glad that you found your way to this video. Because in this program, we're going to break all of that wide open and tell you the truth about career and life purpose. Won't it be great to move forward in this area of your life and finally get to where you've always wanted to be going? Okay, so let's begin. Let's start by doing a little myth busting, shall we? In the Conversations with God dialogues that I experienced, it was made clear to me that God has no preference in the matter of what we do as the main activity or occupation in our lives. Unlike what many people imagine is true or wish to be true, God does not have a plan for us. It's not God's idea that one of us is supposed to be a healer, one of us is destined to be a messenger, one of us is intended to be a spiritual teacher, while another one of us is supposed to be playing first violin for the Baltimore Philharmonic Orchestra, or maybe play first base for the New York Yankees. God has not put a separate, distinct blueprint into place for each of the 7.5 billion individuals on planet Earth. So there's not a career you're supposed to be following, and nothing specific that you are supposed to be doing with the days and times of your life while you're here. Well, what then, if this is true, and it is, what then is the place of career and life purpose in our experience? I mean, why bother being concerned about it, much less trying to master this area of our lives? The answer is that we spend by far the largest number of our moments, from our early 20s until our mid-60s and often beyond, engaged in activities that are misdirected and in many cases actually work against the very reason we came as spirits into physical life. The reason that this is true, the reason that this happens, is that many people are not clear about why they came to physical life to begin with. And so they see the work that they do as adults in the world as a means of survival. And they hope against hope that what they do for a living allows them to use the talent that they find most joyous to use and to offer the gift that they yearn to give. But too often, far too often, I'm sorry to say, it is not that way. So people go to the workplace every day, and it's seldom the joy place. It's the workplace. Yet when people combine their true reason for coming into physical life with their determination to create a way to survive on this primitive planet where people are expected to pay their way, when they combine those two, a human's true life purpose can be euphorically served at the same time that a career can produce a wonderful flow of income on which to survive. This is what is meant by mastering career and right livelihood, or life purpose. How would it feel for you to head to work each day happier than you could ever imagine about what you're doing there? Wouldn't that be great? Well, you can have that, and here's how. Decide that your career, that is, your occupation, has nothing to do with your life purpose. See, we keep thinking that they should be one and the same, and when they're not, we're unhappy. Now, here's the most important thing I learned about all of this in my conversations with God. Career and life purpose have nothing to do with each other, but they can be one and the same if we understand the function of each. The function of your occupation is to keep you occupied while you're serving your life's purpose. Your job is what occupies you, while your purpose on the planet is what actualizes you. Did you hear that? Did you really take that in? Write it down. Take a note on this. I said, your job is what occupies you, while your purpose on the planet is what actualizes you. We talked a little bit about this in the short video program that I created about money and wealth and what causes income to flow to people. I'm going to expand on that here. And if you've not seen that other video, don't worry, this will all make sense to you when I'm finished here. So sit tight and yes, take notes. Your purpose for being on the planet is to actualize yourself. That is, to put into actual practice, through physical expression, the truth of who you really are. Who you really are, as you know, is an individuation of divinity. At least I assume you know that. If you've read Conversations with God, you surely must know that. Physical life exists as a means by which your soul may put into form and substance, using your body and your mind, what you are at the level of being. That is, what the essence of you is composed of. And what is that exactly? It's the same thing that the essence of divinity is composed of. You are the spirit of the divine, made physical. Thus, to provide divinity with the means of experiencing itself, experiencing all that it is, and all that the spirit of the divine is so magnificent, so wondrous, so glorious, that it could never be expressed in fullness, in completeness, in just a single physicalization, in just a single lifetime. So, the spirit of the divine returns to physicality over and over again, in lifetime after lifetime, which you call reincarnations, using each passage through physical form to put into form, and thus to experience one or two or even a few of the countless aspects of divinity that make God so breathtakingly spectacular. And when the spirit of the divine, which is who you really are, shines in you and demonstrates itself through your body and your mind, others will immediately notice. They may even say, "That's the spirit." And in that moment you will feel You should feel absolutely fulfilled in your purpose, in your reason for coming here, because it was always about a feeling, not about a doing. What you're doing is expressing a feeling. That is, you're pushing it out. You don't feel something because of what you're doing. You do something because of what you're feeling. Did you catch that? You don't experience your divinity because of your activity. Your activity is evidence that you are experiencing your divinity. It's the other way around. This is what is meant when I said that your job is what occupies you and your life is what actualizes you. First, you feel your divinity. Then your activity demonstrates how you feel. And when you have this formula in its proper order, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. Your job could be anything. You could be washing dishes in the back of a restaurant or owning and running the restaurant. You could be a night watchman at the 20-story headquarters of an international corporation. Or you could be owning and running the corporation. You could be tuning the piano or the player of the piano at a Carnegie Hall concert. No one job is more elevated or dignified or important than the other. Every occupation is merely an opportunity to express and experience divinity. And when used in this way, when seen in this way, when experienced in this way, your career and your life purpose have become one. And you're on your way to a fulfilling, joyful life. Now, the trick here is to become clear as soon and as fast as you can about what aspect or aspects of divinity you wish your life to experience. Is it creativity? Is it compassion? Is it patience? Is it understanding? Is it wisdom? Is it one or more of the other wondrous and countless aspects of divinity? Is it that which cares, that which heals, that which helps or solves or provides? What is it when you feel yourself being one or more of these things that brings you the most joy? For some, this is the catch. You see, some people say that they don't know what it is that they're supposed to be doing in life, so they are waiting for God or life to give them an answer. Meanwhile, God is waiting for them to give God an answer. God's role is to empower our desires. Our role is not to empower God's. In this, many, many people have it in reverse. They think that humanity is supposed to obey the will of God. Yet God says, your will for you is my will for you. Wow, can you imagine a God as loving as that? Can you imagine a God as needless as that? Needing nothing, and so therefore demanding and commanding nothing? Can you imagine yourself as loving and needless as that? If you can, you've taken the first step toward self-realization. Therefore, do nothing in your life because you think you need to or that you're supposed to. Do what you do because you choose to, because you want to, given who and what you've decided to be. Do you choose to be that quality of divine that cares, that heals, that helps, that solves, that provides? Then be that and do whatever emerges and arises from that desire. And watch. As I said, then just watch your life take on a direction virtually all by itself. Because the energy outside of you will match the energy inside of you as you project the energy inside of you outside of you. This is how metaphysics works. So, to repeat for emphasis, when you have identified the divine aspects of yourself that bring you the most joy, then you yearn to express and experience. Then you fill everything you do with this feeling, and you watch your life soar. Watch your career take off. Watch others notice you and promote you and provide you with greater and greater opportunities to put that feeling into the world. You see, life wants this. Life is yearning for the spirit of divinity to be expressed. When you are the force and the source through which that happens, it won't matter how much you make. You'll always feel overpaid. Because the truth is, you would do what you do for free, because you're using it as a chance to be what it is you choose to be. You got it? Ah, that's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Powerful, powerful wisdom here from Neale. Life is a creation, not a discovery. There's no definitive thing, because the reality is there's infinite versions of you, right? As I always say, your life plays out at the corner of free will and destiny. It's destined because there is no time. It's all happening in the eternal now. Your 5th birthday party is happening on another channel. You're just not tuned into it. A future self's happening on another channel. You're not tuned into it, right? So That's why it's destined. But it's free will because there's infinite versions. God, source, higher self, it's infinite, right? It can play out anything you could ever imagine. And so it's constant. It's really an act of creation with your vibration that you determine which version of reality out of unending versions that you would manifest and create, right? That's how it's done. That's what I believe how it's done anyway. And, when you understand your purpose on the planet is what actualizes you. Your job, as he said, occupies you. Your soul, of course, wants to know experientially what it is. And if you can just feel your divinity and just demonstrate how you feel, it doesn't matter what you do then. Everything becomes divine. Every moment becomes divine. And this is when your career and life purpose will align. If what you're doing isn't your ultimate highest calling, but you're living it divinely, right? You're being your full self in that moment. It's going to shift. It reminds me of the Derek Rydall interviews a while back, which I highly recommend. If you go search Derek Rydall, Rydall, there's actually like 3 of them because he's just amazing. And he shares his whole story of, how he went from an actor, a successful actor, to a waiter and then became just the best waiter he could be, which then catapulted him out of that. And now he's this very successful guy. And that is the path. You're waiting for God to show you what it is that's going to light you up. And God is waiting for you to light up. And then you'll see where you are meant to sort of the ideal role for you to fall into. I love how he said God's role is to empower our desires, not us to empower God's. There is no jealous God needing you to worship him in order to not torture you for eternity. That's not what's going on. God's role is to empower our desires. Basically, higher self wants for you what you want for you, right? That's unconditional love. That's the real thing. And, I talk about that all the time in the context of relationship and otherwise. Imagine if you being that, caring so much about everyone in your life, you want for them what they want for themselves, regardless of what your vision of who they should or shouldn't be or how they should show up. That is like the real deal. That's unconditional love. And that is what higher self source is. And if you can imagine yourself as needless as that, you don't need anything. You're a self-sufficient being that's always been and always will be. Change is guaranteed if you don't like something, so relax about it. Here floating in eternity, you're needless. It's all within you. All the love, all the everything, the abundance. You are your own soulmate, twin flame, best friend. You don't need anything external of self. So the challenge is what? Always the challenge, the same challenge. Be it to see it, be it and see what arises. And you start being this higher self, this divine self, and quit trying to use just the brain in your head, the mind in your head to figure out what you're supposed to do. There is nothing you're supposed to do. It's an open field of creation. It's so infinite and vast. Start being someone who knows that and that knows that there's nowhere to go, nothing to see that needs to be done. There's nothing required, and relax and just be divine in each moment. Whatever is in front of you, whatever shows up in front of you, know that it's exactly what's meant for you in that moment. So what does a master do? A master embraces whatever shows up because they know it's exactly what they need, right? To become the next greatest and grandest version of themselves. And that's essentially your only job, is to trust and be excited about the ever unfolding of what will come next as you move into the state that's not based off of external circumstances that you're looking at, because what you're looking at is basically you're looking into the past. You're looking into a reflection of something that came before, right? That's all you're doing. If you want to know what you'll see tomorrow, look at what you're feeling today. So stop looking out there for clues. It's not out there. That's a reflection of past vibrational offerings that you've made. Your job now, your real career, your real job, getting into the vibration of joy, excitement, belief, faith, wonder, awe to the beauty of how this whole thing works, and the knowing that you have the formula. This is more powerful than any Harvard education. This is more powerful than, this is the key. This is the key in the lock to become the next greatest and greatest version of yourself, to go from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Life is yearning for the spirit of divinity to express itself in the world through you. The more you do that, the more you get a better view, essentially. So, all right, that's it. That's all I got for today. I hope you guys, gals, folks, fellas, extraterrestrials, whatever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're loving it. I hope you took away something beautiful from this. I have something to leave you with that's beautiful. Just a little icing on the cake. My lovely friend Fia singing the song, The Art of Letting Go, and perfectly appropriate for today's topic. Hope you enjoy as much as I do. Until next time, journey well. Love you all so, so much.
The more I struggle and fight, trying to get it all right, I push away the very thing I want, thinking it's all up to me, deciding how it will be, forgetting that I'm guided by the one. The more I struggle and fight, trying to get it all right, I push away the very thing I want, thinking it's all up to me, deciding how it will be, forgetting that I'm guided by the one. So I forgive myself over again, 'cause I'm doing the best I can. And there are no mistakes, I learn every day, and the universe is showing me the way. But sometimes the egoic mind is strong and making me blind. Oh, I run around believing all the lies, when choosing love over fear, a lens that's so bright and clear. All is here, there's nothing to be found. So I forgive myself over again, 'cause I'm doing the best I can. No, there are no mistakes, I learn every day, and the universe is showing me the way. And I'm giving up the need to know it all before. I am mastering the art of letting go. Yes, I was put here for a reason, I feel it in my bones. There's a purpose on this earth for my soul. So I forgive myself over again, 'cause I'm really doing the best I can. And there are no mistakes, I learn every day, and the universe is showing me the way. Yes, I forgive myself over again, 'cause I'm doing the best I can. And there are no mistakes, I learn every day, and the universe is showing me the way. Yes, the universe is showing me the way. The universe is showing me the way. The universe is showing me the way. Yes, the universe is showing